This week on the Great Debaters Contest Golden Series, we feature security.
Welcome to the Great Debaters Contest. This is our 6th season, and we have pitched camp in Nairobi region. I am Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Yumbok. Our motion today is, should national security outweigh individual privacy? We have St. Hannah's boys versus Buruburu girls. Who will be the victor?
Proposer number 1, take the stage. You have 3 minutes.
Proposing that national security should outweigh individual privacy is Rafa Longotusi from St. Hannah's Boys High School. I guess you all remember that the event that took place a year ago. The Chinese people who were caught in Runda, who were trying to hack into official government communication channels. Well, you know how they were caught? They were caught because the government used the individual privacy. And this is why I'm speaking to you right now. I am convincing you that because the government used the individual security, that's why we are here right now. Can you imagine how it could have been if the information could have been leaked to the other people who were actually going against us? Where could we be right now? How much information could have been taken? Can you imagine that? How many more attacks could have been aimed towards Kenya? How many more lives could have been lost? I guess you see this. And since the government does not want us to lose more lives, doesn't want the Kenyans and the people of the nation to suffer anymore, that's why individual security, individual privacy has to be sacrificed just a bit so that the citizens of the nation can live without much suffering. Let me give you one more thing. We all remember what happened in the Wajir University. 147 students lost their lives. This we could not be able to control. You know why? Because the government had no idea of what was going on. It had no information about the people around Wajir. It had no information about this. But as we remember, it was even told in the media that one of the members of the Al-Shabaab was actually a student from the University of Nairobi, a lawyer. But did we know that? No, we did not. And that's why I'm asking, is this little individual privacy not worth risking just for the safety of us all? Well, I agree it should be risked. Because if we can risk that little individual privacy, well, we'll have a better Kenya, we'll have a better nation. Less lives will be lost. We'll have a peaceful Kenya, a good Kenya. And you know what? This will also lead to more development for us because everyone out there likes a good business environment. And every investor out there will be like, wow, look at this nation, it's so peaceful. So this will lead to better development for our nation. And don't we want that? Yes, we do. So that's why I just want to ask you, why oppose against us when what we are talking about is what is good for the nation? We want people to enjoy their lives. Thank you.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes.
Once in Northeastern, during the Wagala massacre in 1984, an individual's privacy was invaded. I am the product. My pure and innocent mother by then was invaded, and she gave birth to me as a result, says Nasra Abdurrahim. I am Steph Apondi from Buruburu Girls. I therefore stand here to strongly oppose this motion stating that national security should outweigh individual privacy. National security is basically the protection of a state against national crises. National crises can be health crises, economic crises, political crises, and such like. Privacy is the freedom from damaging one's publicity, public scrutiny, and also disclosure of personal information without one's authorization. According to the Business Dictionary, we have 4 types of privacy, which include the physical privacy, informational privacy, decisional privacy, and dispositional privacy. The determinant factor in this debate is the outweighing word. Outweighing is having more influence on something. What we are for is balance. We need balance. They should have a symbiotic relationship. We do not have a problem against national security, but we have a problem with them outweighing our individual privacy. The practical bit of national security comes in with the government authorities that make this thing a reality. Take, for example, Fatima's case. A single mother of 5 living in Isili. The police just come to her house randomly, ransacking, threatening, and telling her to remove bribes. And if she refuses to comply, what do? They threaten to send her to the camps. History has proven that this term national security has often been used to deny people of their basic rights. We do not want to be denied our basic rights. We are not against national security. Also, this term outweigh, you see, they might think, like my fellow opponent here said, he's in full support of us. We are not against the government or these forces that make this national security a reality coming into our individual privacy. Just like he said, this thing of Wajir University, I'm sorry, it's Garissa University for your information. So one thing to be noted, we are not against national security. We are against it outweighing our individual privacy. Thank you.
We'll hear rebuttals now, beginning with St. Anna's. You have 3 minutes.
First of all, I'd like to ask my opponent. She said she's not against national security. Then why are we having this debate? I am offended that most people value their individual privacy. But let's look back 3 years ago. Westgate was attacked by people within our own country. How many lives were lost? How many people shed their blood in vain, yet you continue to discard national privacy, national security, sorry. A wise man once said, you cannot have an omelette without breaking a few eggs. He also said that for you to get something, you must give something first. Should we let the family of these victims cry in vain? I think not. If we have something to do about this, we can make a difference. If the government has a problem that has a solution that completely eradicates this problem, why should we stop them? It is geographically impossible for terrorists to cross borders every now and then to attack us. This means that the terrorists are within us. They are under our very noses. How well do you know your neighbor? Why is our current rate of discovering terrorists so slow? It is because we are regarding the human rights to privacy. If you can limit these rights to privacy, I'm sure we can find more terrorists and we can stop this before it gets out of hand. I, Alan Otieno, rest my case.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes for your rebuttal.
Well, a great philosopher, Benjamin Franklin, said that those who will give up one right for the sake of another deserve neither of those rights. Just like I'm going to say that those who are ready to give up security for the sake of privacy deserve neither the security nor the privacy. She defined the determinant factor here, saying that we are for balance. She did not say she's completely supporting national security outweighing the individual privacy. National security nowadays is a term used by the government to target ethnic groups. They risk setting these such groups against the government, creating future terrorists. Taking, for example, the Somali communities, they are being targeted by the government and by the fellow citizens by saying they are Al-Shabaabs just because Al-Shabaab are saying they're fighting a holy war. If these governments are targeting against these ethnic groups, searching them, looking at them with suspicious eyes, taking them in and invading their individual privacy for the sake of national security, will this not embitter them? Will this not set their mind for them so that they will join the Al-Shabaab, creating terrorists, and we have so many, leading us to having so many terrorists? The war on terror is not like the Second World War. In the Second World War, we had states fighting states. For example, we had Japan against the USA. But here, the enemy is unknown, and how victory should be reached is very, very not clear. It's not clear to us. So if we let privacy be lost here, the war will be open-ended. It will last for so many years. Leaving this country in a chaotic state, there will be we will lose economic security, for instance. So many people will run away from the country looking for security somewhere else, and the nation will fall. Let's say, just for a second, let's agree with them and say national security should outweigh individual privacy. And we had informational privacy. What if all the citizens give the information to the government? Currently, we all know that you have a safe government. What if a despotic kind of leader comes in and uses this information against the citizen? What will you do? Will this not harm you? Still talking about informational privacy. We give the privacy is invaded. We have the banks. Let's say you give all your information. There are hackers everywhere. Your banking account, the information on your banking that you gave to the government is hacked, and you're defrauded without knowing. Will that not cause insecurity to you? A nation is created by citizens. And if these citizens' individual privacy is invaded, they lose their security. If an individual does not have a security, what's the use of national security? Because the nation is there, the government is there to protect the citizens. I'm Muzni Mohammed, Buruburu Girls. Thank you.
The audience has posed questions to the two teams. The proposers have been asked, what other uses does information gotten from invading people's privacy have, aside from just curbing terrorism? And the opposition have been challenged if getting into people's privacy is not a way of curbing insecurity, what is? Proposer number 3, you have 3 minutes.
I love the question that was just asked some few minutes ago. And one of the methods that can be used is one, embezzlement of funds. The government can use the information they get to find out where embezzled funds go to. She talked about outweigh guru. I would like to answer that. When the search was being carried out, lots of items were found. And yes, it was invading our privacy. But for what? For the better use and development of this country. And what did they find? Title deeds. They found houses that were not registered. Did she get them in the right way? And if she got them in the right way, why was she hiding them? Let's take a look at what happened to America in September 9, or the 9/11 attacks. You see, right after this happened, what initiatives did America do? Invading people's privacy? Yes, I can say that. And what are the fruits? We are seeing the fruits right now. Though America is suffering attacks, these are not attacks that are external. These are attacks that are internal. And why is this happening? Because America has been able to monitor people right from their emails, right from their cell phones, right from the things they carry when they go to malls, right from the things they text people. When you go to hotel rooms in America, you'll get CCTV cameras. Are they there to display how pretty we are? No. They invade our privacy so that as you sleep in that room, you are confident enough that there is national security. Let's look at the NIS in Kenya. NIS is the National Intelligence Service. And what's the role of the National Intelligence Service? It's to provide us with information, correct information. To do what? To make the country safe. So why are we blaming the government sometimes because of insecurity? It is because we choose to keep our individual privacy, and in turn what happens? We are attacked. We were told that one of the members was Kenyans. What if we invaded privacy? What if we had more CCTV cameras? What if you could tap your emails a little bit? All this would have saved their lives. You see, in all that we do, with all this privacy we ask, let us not look at what we will gain, but instead let us look at what we shall lose as citizens of Kenya. Think about this well. If there is no security, will we even have the privacy that we desire to have? Will we have the privacy we desire to have? Do you think hiding under a cave because of insecurity will give you privacy? But how about you give me some little information, and in turn I do what? I give you national security. And so let us stop looking at this as something where we are gaining something as individuals. And let's start looking at this point as something where the whole country is benefiting.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes to respond to the audience.
National security should outweigh individual privacy. In opposition to the tabled motion, Bochaberi Cynthia from Buruburu Girls. Now wait, if I stood here and told you that national security should not outweigh individual privacy without giving you alternatives, it will be the joke of the millennium. Let's try using diplomacy to rally allies and isolate threats. What do I mean? For example, the Nyumba Kumi initiative that has its origin in Tanzania and done here in Kenya, and it has been successful in Tanzania. Now, what does the Nyumba Kumi initiative involve? That you get to know your neighbor, but you don't go overboard. That's where the word outweigh comes in. Another case study, the community policing that was established in Rwanda after the Hutu and Tutsi genocide. How does it work? That in the community, there are leaders. And these leaders are supposed to observe whether there's someone who is causing friction and takes this person to a court known as Gachacha Court, whereby they solve the issues and reduce friction in the community without going overboard in individual privacy. Now, Mother Nature has proven to be the greatest teacher of all times. And all of us at a certain time learned biology. What am I saying? Look at this beautiful flower over here. I wish I could pass it so that you can smell the scent. But what does this plant require? Light. What amount of light does it require? My biology teacher tells me that if there's too much light, chlorophyll molecules are denatured. Thus, no food, no plant, no beautiful flower. If the light is too little, the chlorophyll molecules are rendered inactive. What next? No food, no plant. And what does this mean? This means that for us, balance is the key. None needs to outweigh the other. National security has no need to outweigh individual privacy. What we want is for us to be able to establish balance. And that's why I would love to invite you all. Come join us in admitting that national security is pegged on individual privacy and individual privacy pegged on national security. None can exist without the other.
We'll hear closing statements now. Proposition, you have a minute.
You know, I have to agree with her. She is right. An intelligent woman over here. She said that the enemy is unknown. Shouldn't we know the enemy? She said it. I didn't put the words in her mouth. That the enemy is unknown. So this is why we want to invade your privacy, so that we can know the enemy. Let's face facts. If we entered this room today and no frisking was done, what if one of us came here just to plot an attack? But we frisk you, we invade your privacy, so that each and every one of us can be safe. Let me give you an example of Russia. Russia used to have nuclear plants, a lot. And as time progressed, it reached a point they noticed that this thing is going to cause national security. And so they closed the plants down. And so if Russia was able to close a plant down due to a nuclear plant, you don't get to build a nuclear plant with 3 shillings. If Russia was able to close down a nuclear plant due to national security, why shouldn't we close down, or why shouldn't we allow us, as the national security, to invade your privacy so that you can be safe? Thank you.
Opposition, you have a minute as well.
On April 14th, year 2015, at around 8:23, the Garissa University, its peaceful environment was interrupted by attackers. A young leader who was brave enough to save his fellow comrades, he fought against the attackers, saving so many lives, but he died himself. Before the 844 system, we had the students, when they finished the secondary school, they went and joined the National Youth Service, where they were trained to defend themselves against such cases. What if that was brought back? What if every student in that university was trained on how to safeguard themselves in cases of terror? Will we not have saved Kenya a great loss of life? So I'm saying that instead of invading our privacy, let's look for alternatives whereby we can save this nation, because individual privacy is not what is causing the country a great insecurities. Thank you.
Buruburu girls, good debate, good analysis, and I just wrote one word, good content analysis. To the 2 teams, it was good. St. Anna's have said, first-timers, but very good. And Hoto, that was just awesome. To the girls, I can't really pick out a debate. I think you are all of you are a team because you tried to give it your best. Commendable job.
Steph, good angle. I love that balance as well that you brought in, and the fact that you were able to bring it out across and saying that we're not trying to say that we're going to take it all over, but we want a balance altogether. I love that logic. Muzni, good attempt, very good mastery of language, and a good ending as well. Cynthia, good examples as well, and a good speaker. All the best to the 2 teams.
St. Hannah's boys, you managed to garner 70%. Please give them a round of applause. And our winners for the day, Buruburu girls, you have 72%.
Thank you to both teams for a very informative debate, and congratulations to the ladies of Buruburu. We'd like to thank you for watching and ask you to follow us on all our social media platforms. On Twitter, we are at Great Debaters EA. I have been your host, Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Nyumbok. Catch you next time.